which is a bit all about news, which is really interesting because I've got some people sharing some stuff with me, and I thought we covered that last month on Hot House, so we're well ahead of the curve. So, over to you, John. You're going to take us through some stuff that we need to be knowing about, yeah?
Absolutely. We're going to fly through this at breakneck pace to give enough space for everyone later on. As always, I will share all of the links to things we're talking about in chat as soon as I've gone through the slides. So up first is an HBR one, learning or performance. This is quite fun. We often talk to people and we say, right, we need to innovate and deliver. We need to learn and perform, all these kind of things that we want people to do. And they're quite contradictory terms when you stop and think about them. Which one of those do we want? One of those is about learning. One of them is about you're not going to be innovative and experiment if you just want to get something across the line quickly. So what they've done in this research, they've looked at 109 US companies, and they found evidence that basically those mixed messages create ambiguity in teams. They cause confusion, and those teams are less efficient than teams that have very, very clear messaging and direction on which of those paths they're taking. Sounds like common sense, and yet how often in our organizations do we see these mixed messages given to organizations and to project teams as well? So the simple message, the key takeaway there is don't overload teams with conflicting signals. The guidance is to choose a dominant orientation or sort of compass point. This is the direction that we're going in. Be clear on that and then stick with it for better results. If you do have conflicting messages, which we do have from time to time with shared reality, right? Then make sure we're clear on priority order for people, so people understand that we are innovation first, but we do have to get some stuff delivered, and then we're clear on what those priorities are that allow teams, when they're struggling and conflicting with ideas, they've got that model to come back to that helps them prioritize and saves that time on disagreements and going in different directions and struggling to pull everything together. So I'll share that link later on for you, but do have a think about the messaging you're giving to project managers in particular about how they should be working and what they should be focusing on. On to the next one then. This is a new publication from APM. It's new out this month, Guide to Integrated Assurance Management. I don't have any more information for you on this one other than it is there and it is out, because it hasn't arrived yet. So I'll probably come back to that one next month, assuming it lands on my doormat at some point before that session. It'll be really interesting to see how that ties in with the sort of governance and assurance certifications that have come out recently from Ross and everyone else. So it'll be interesting to see how that sort of links in.
Real
I
book,
will
not
report back on that one. Sorry, Lindsay.
is it a real book or a digital?
It's a real physical book, absolutely.
Okay, right.
So
Okay.
I'm waiting for my physical copy to arrive. 59 pages, apparently.
Right. Question: Has Roy been involved in this?
I don't know. I was absolutely curious. This is kind of all I have, and I ordered it. But that was my first wonder: is Roy involved? Has he been involved in the publication of this? Because his work's been fantastic. So it'll be interesting to see how it all links together.
Oh, I think we need to grab Roy. If anybody didn't know who we're referring to, it's Roy Millard. He's been a friend of House of PMO, our person that we call on for anything assurance. I want to try and grab him about. But yeah, okay, next one, yeah.
Yeah. Next one here, and so we've got a new book. We've also got a new course or course/certification out. Impact Engine. I think people who've been to the PMO conference will have be aware of Laura Barnard and her lovely Purple Impact Engine book. She's done some training in the UK in the past as well. Very passionate, full of energy around the PMO space and the value it can give to organizations. So it's quite exciting. She's got a course out. It's being delivered through PMO Learn. So do check out their website and see what dates they've got for that one. Key things to call out on this one from sort of my take on it. I really like the way that it's contextual about the PMO. So it's not just about saying, well, these are the things that PMO should do. It's saying, well, actually, let's look at the organization, the strategic outcomes the organization wants, and look at how the PMO then links back into those. It's very much thinking about the PMO in the context of the organization it's in, which I love and absolutely agree with. There's a strong emphasis in that on mindset and behavior shifts to drive strategic outcomes. So if you're looking for a course that teaches you processes, your sort of Prince2 type approach to things, learn the process, follow the process, this is probably not for you. It is very much around the right mindsets, the right behavior shifts, but all towards driving strategic outcomes. And again, I think that's great because so much of what PMOs do is human centric, and it's people that deliver projects. And the last point I made on it there was it kind of what I've just said. It's a human centric approach to setting up a PMO for success. Well worth looking at. I love Laura's work, and I see from Zoe there that she enjoyed Laura's one-day session at the PMO conference this year as well. So I'll share a link to that one too.
It's interesting, just jumping in, John, for conversations. This is what happens. You go to a flash mob thing, which we did in London last night, and of course, there's conversations that we've had at being like the forefront of your mind. There's a lot of discussion and chat around AI and the AI use. Where that will fit in terms of the whole PMO stuff, and I think this is the kind of thing where PMOs potentially elevating themselves upper level or two, and this kind of behavioural type stuff that you're talking is very much in the whole kind of impact engine approach, which we've heard about at the conference this year as well. So there's a lot of chitty chat going on at the moment about the two ends of where the PMO role is, the kind of analytical bit, and then there's the kind of strategic side of it, which is becoming more and more prominent in discussions, everyday discussions, including over chips and drinks in the pub last night. So anyway, next one. There you go.
Right, the next one. Everybody loves free resources, and this is a nice free resource from the US Government Accountability Office. And I've mentioned a few things that have come out of the US government in these sessions that are actually quite good, sort of good quality resources to get your hands on. So this one's downloadable. It's a 47-page PDF, and the idea of this is it's the US Government Accountability Office creating guidance for, and it's mainly for their Department of Defense, but for other federal agencies as well. But the idea is to try and give them guidance to improve outcomes for the projects that are being done by or for US government. But they publish it openly, which means it is helpful to everybody else as well. It's an easy 47 pages to scan through. I think the key sort of bits of interest there are reinforcing things that I know a lot of you know already, but it's about agile portfolio management and talking you through their idea of that. And we're not talking about Scrum here, we're talking about sort of top level sort of business agility and the idea of continuously reevaluating, adjusting portfolios, certainly in a product driven environment, and tying that in quite nicely with business cases being iterative as well, emphasizing that they aren't things that we create at the beginning and then just leave to die on a shelf, but the examples they've got in here, they're emphasizing a lot. The business cases get iterated and then are continuously feeding into quarterly portfolio reviews to make decisions on what we should be doing on that sort of quarterly cadence there. And you can see there's lots of sort of, there's a screenshot at the bottom there of sort of their sort of markers on creating an initial business case and actually calling an initial business case to emphasize that this is the start and it will get updated, and then iteratively updating that as we go, forcing that to come back in and justify its position in the portfolio and make those active decisions based on that as well. So quite an interesting read, whilst it is aimed at Department of Defense and other sort of areas in the US government. I think a lot of you, certainly in an environment where you're using agile delivery and product management techniques, you find this useful and some good ideas in there for you as well.
Lovely. Thank you.
And the last one I had kind of ties in with what you just mentioned, Lindsay, as well, which is around AI. Now, there isn't one big news thing here for this month on AI, but I just wanted to pull some sources together that I hope you find useful. I've just called it AI, where to get guidance away from social media, because social media seems, everything about AI at the moment seems to be delivered in a breathless, enthusiastic way of how absolutely amazing something is, and it's a real struggle to get when you want to sort of come back and say, well, actually, what should the governance look like? What should the structures look like? How much do we trust this? What are we doing with it? What are we not doing with it? And that stuff seems to be a lot more opaque. So I've just pulled these together, and I'll share links there that hopefully are good places for you to look at and have a read on. So a few here. UK government has an artificial intelligence playbook, which is out. It's principles based, is well written, and is a good way to start thinking about the principles that you want to have around AI in your organizations and in the project management world as well. There is a new this month system impact assessment, ISO 42005, and that did come out in 2023. They've fully updated it for 2025. If your organization has access to ISO standards, they've got a really good way here of doing an AI system assessment to look at what it is, how you're using it, impacts on people, systems, and everything else there as well, safety, security. So if you are embarking on a sort of AI first or AI centric initiative in your organization, it might be worth encouraging the teams involved in that transformation to download that impact assessment and use that to assess where you're going with it. ICO has guidance. It's not been updated since March 23. I'll share the link in a minute, but they've got a 2-day conference in October. I would expect more guidance to be coming out of that one. So bookmark it when I share it and revisit in October. ISO guidance coming is the good news. They've got something really specifically for project management. They've got a working group together for project, program, and portfolio management, artificial intelligence concepts, applications, and implications. But their stuff is quality, but it's also slow because they get it right. So that's not going to be out till 2027, but I've bookmarked them and I will keep watching what they're doing. And when they put public drafts out, I'll share those back with you. Project Management Journal is got a special edition coming out. They've just put a call out for contributions, but that will go through their process again, October 2026. So we'll report back once we see that one there as well for you. Those two will give us some nice project portfolio level guidance. Then we've got an APM report on AI and project management from 2022, PMIs from 2024. They've got a follow-up blog post, which I'll share for 2025 as well, because things are moving so fast. And for those people here who are House of PMO members, if you look for the bookmark AI on the House of PMO website, there are a plethora of articles and sessions that have been done in the AI space that are worth dipping into just to get insight into what the thinking is, how things are evolving, and what people are doing. And as Eileen's mentioned there, they're doing more and more of those sessions. They've got a couple of great ones coming up as well. And Lindsay has kindly shared the link for their next one in chat as well for you.
Incidentally, our Inside PMO report about AI came out in 2021. That's when we first started getting around the table and trying to know what's going on. So yeah, and actually, if anybody's interested to get onto the reports page, which I'll just stick it into chat right now, it's still relevant because if you look at it, we were just talking very much about data, which is still a thing today. So yeah, excellent.
That's it from me. Links incoming in the chat.
Right, super duper. And